Ah, you returned. Excellent. Today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different, something that perhaps your previous host was a little too afraid to look at. Today we are looking at a transformer, but not just any transformer. A Monsterbot. Welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Rodimus13, and today we're looking at the Monsterbot Repugnus. Let's take a quick look at the box. He comes in a special collector's box, making him different from the others. It opens up and you can see the monster inside, along with a Titan Master for Solus Prime. Along the edge, you have symbols for the different primes. On the back, bio information in several different languages. On the side, a different piece of artwork than what we see on the front, and you can see his two companions there too. I wonder where they're at. Let's get him opened up, and we'll take a look at the figure itself. And I have returned, and oh, I guess somebody thought they were going to be cute. I hate cute. But I suppose we should address this anyway. Repugnus was released earlier, before the figure that we are about to look at, but not quite in the form that others expected. He was originally a Titan Master, and he just came as a little headmaster figure that came with a little body that he can move around in little ways, and not very many people appreciated it because he wasn't a full-size figure. Though his head sculpt was fairly impressive. We'll set that aside for now. Here is what we were looking for. This is the deluxe class Repugnus. Looking very impressive, very monstrous. I particularly like how his weapons store on his back. And instead of having them just go straight up and down, they're at an interesting angle, providing some dynamic lines to his figure. The head sculpt on him leaves something to be desired. Let us see what would happen if we changed it up a bit. As you can see, he is also a Titan Master. And now, not bad if I do say so myself, and I do say so myself. For the purpose of this review, though, we will continue with his stock head. Articulation is fairly decent. Can rotate at the shoulder, rotate up like this, and elbow gets a full 90-degree bend. There is a gap here that allows for the fist to stow away for transformation. There is no waist articulation. Head is on a sort of ball socket joint because of the Titan Master port. But you don't get much use out of it other than rotation. Legs can go up, knee can bend like that. Can also go back, though if you have the swords there, you'll restrict the movement slightly. He can do a full split, and you have a certain level of articulation in the ankles, but not in a useful direction. Feet can rotate around, though. For a deluxe class transformer of this age, it is fairly impressive. His articulation is not overly restricted when present. Now, let's change him up a little bit, shall we? We will remove his swords and transform his arms. Bring out the hands and arms of his beast mode and remove the Titan Master. If one desires, you can store the Titan Master away in a cockpit. His arms stow away. Like so. There's a tab that goes directly into it. Go ahead and straighten these out. And start the transformation of his lower half. Is he becoming monstrous yet? Now we close up like that. Rotate the legs down. And now we reattach the swords using these pegs and holes here, if I remember correctly. Yes. Giving him sort of wings or extra shell. And there we have his beast form, his monstrous form. He has an open and closing jaw. Very impressive. His eyes stare deep into your soul. His arms have slightly limited articulation. They cannot move out, though they can move in. And they have an elbow joint. And a wrist joint of sorts. You can even close the claws a bit. Legs can move around. And the knees can bend like that, though there is very little use of it. The form is an interesting update and approximation of his original Generation 1 form. And it is my opinion that this figure would be a monstrous addition to anyone's collection of Transformers. Now, I do think we have some visitors. That's right. We have all three of the Monsterbots here. First up, we have Grotesque. Looking quite impressive himself. All three of these characters share the same body of sorts, though details have been painted differently and some parts have been remolded entirely. It is interesting to see how well each one wears their alt mode. Let's take a look at his beast form real quick, shall we? They all transform fairly similarly. So we'll just zip through this as quickly as we can. I don't want to hear any complaints. Here we go. Now we're starting to look like something, aren't we? to rotate this one's arms around to get them into their beast form. And here we are. And if you wish, you can connect his guns together, like so, and attach him to his back, giving him more firepower. The lower half of their beast modes are the weakest part of this trio of Transformers. Now, on to this one. Again, their transformations are all very similar. The wings are getting in the way. You defy me? That's what I thought. This one is Twinferno, if I remember correctly, and he was the first one to be released. Though many think that perhaps Grotesque or even Repugnus there was actually the first one to be designed in the original intention of this mold. Truly impressive. Let's get them all back together. Yes, look at that. A monstrous little family ready to destroy all of you. Let's see, we should also address their Titan Masters. I'm afraid I cannot remember all of their names, but what is interesting to note about them is that they are all designed after beast formers. An interesting subline of Transformers. Even though they didn't actually transform, they were all beast that had a rub symbol attached to them that assigned them a certain element. They featured in an episode of the Transformers Headmasters cartoon in Japan. We'll even look at the Titan Master from the original Repugnus. This one is simply just based off of his original G1 robot mode. Ah, yes. And there's one last thing that I'd be remiss to forget about. This is Solus Prime, a Prime Master. She is supposed to be a representative of one of the original Primes. She can transform, much like the Titan Masters. Though she doesn't have much of a use in this form. Well, there you have it. The Monsterbots, all three of them together, and on this channel no less. Very impressive. If you have a chance to get these, I would highly recommend it. Add them to your army, destroy your enemies with them. Yes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and go to our storefronts mentioned below to get official shelf space t-shirts and other merchandise. And I will see all of you the next time you invade my shelf space. Hello? Anybody out there? Maybe I can build some Gunpla or something while I'm in here. Oh, if I'm gonna be in here for a while, maybe I could finally build that PGX here. Oh, I just need to... Wait a minute. Oh, son of a...